in a bit of a different environment today. We're in my art studio. That's because the weather wasn't very predictable today. There was a bit of a snowstorm in the morning, and then it was going to come back. It didn't quite come back, but I decided, well, it could be easier to just set up in my studio. It's going to be cozy. Well, it's always cozy in my car, but so I decided to do it here, and turns out that takes way more time than just setting up in my car, simply because I'm just much more used to the angles and the light that happens in my car rather than here. And I've had some technical difficulties that now we are left with about 20 minutes till sundown, so let's get right into it. Yesterday we had a winter solstice. That means it was the longest night of the year and the shortest day of the year. I feel like that switch between these intense seasons in Iceland, like the season of the light and the season of the darkness, that always comes so quickly. Like the season itself lasts, and then that change happens quite quickly. So even though we're still now in the darkness and in the deep of winter, since we had solstice yesterday, that means that now we're on the way to the brighter days. It was the longest night, and now the nights should be getting shorter. I also realized that I didn't introduce myself in my last episode, which I always try to do. So if you're just stumbling upon this video and this series, my name is Nika and I'm an artist living in Iceland. And this is my series Wonder Club, where every month I share a list of wonders, or personal wonders, or inspirations, things from my life, from my research. It's kind of a place to put all my endless interests into without feeling like they're going to waste. And I've been really enjoying this process. It's been hard as well because, you know, it takes time and energy and certain kind of courage to face yourself repeatedly on camera. But your comments have always made it worth it to do it again and every month. Speaking of every month, this is our 11th episode, so technically it is our last one because I did start it in the beginning of last year, and but I decided I will make it to 12 and I'll make one more in January, kind of like a to summarize everything, to look back and perhaps pick some of my favorite wonders of all of the wonders that I've shared this year. Some of them I remember, but some of them I completely do not remember what I shared certain months. So it will be interesting to look back at that and and reflect on maybe what I've learned, what this series has been for me and what it has been for you. For those of you who do watch and leave beautiful comments. Last video, wow, some of you shared such beautiful texts with me in the comments. So I want to thank you for that, and I really appreciate you. And it's very hard for me to actually comprehend that somebody is watching it and is replying in such elaborate ways, but I really do appreciate that, even if it doesn't quite click in my head. All right, so let's start the episode. Since we're still in the winter, I feel like a winter here specifically is you're met with the harsh conditions much closer than you would have anywhere else, in my experience. And those harsh winter conditions make me think of appreciating simplicity. I feel that simplicity in harsh winter conditions provides this specific kind of comfort that will not be found otherwise. It's kind of like the comfort of a woolen sweater in a snowy parking lot versus the comfort of a polyester blanket in a cafe, if you know what I mean. So having said that, the theme of this episode, I think, will be circling around simplicity and simple materials, simple activities, appreciation of this raw material to happiness pipeline. All right, so first on my list, bear with me, Jólabókaflóð, the reading month in Iceland, which roughly translates to the Christmas book flood. And for me as an outsider, what that experience is like is in the shops everywhere, you'll notice suddenly in November and December, many books in places where you wouldn't find books otherwise, and people reading quite a bit more, and it's very heavily set, I feel, in the culture, even if you're not participating in it from the inside. And so I did a little bit of research on what that is and where that comes from, this love of Icelanders of reading and around Christmas time and in the winter. And some people also connected to this Danish hygge, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this kind of this coziness of harshness outside and coziness inside. And so what I found about Jólabókaflóð is that this custom, this tradition, began around World War II. And that was when Iceland gained its independence from Denmark in 1944. So according to my notes here, paper was one of the few commodities that was not rationed during the war. So Icelanders shared their love of books even more, as other types of gifts were in short supply. And every year since 1944, the Icelandic book trade has published a catalogue of all the books that came out in said year, and you could order from there. This still exists. I don't think it comes to homes unless you order it, but you can find it in shops and bookstores. I have just completed my challenge of 20 books this year. That might not seem like a lot to some people, but for me, training my focus and becoming a reader again has been super, super beneficial and just joyful. So I felt that I really like this mood of this holiday Christmas book flood that's going on here, and yeah, just wanted to share that. So wonder number two is customization and personalizing things that you already own, or personalizing, getting things that will last you a long time and getting them personalized. I feel that it's such a beautiful experience to have, and I've been very much on board with the Birkin bag trend, and I know there's people who are quite against it, and I understand why as well, because if you're just going for it as a trend and ordering all your charms in one Amazon order, then that is, the point is missed. But what I've been enjoying really is adding all these personal touches like stickers and keychains, and I've made my button keychain, and I find it really cozy because it has some of the buttons from my grandma's collection. And one of the buttons is from my mom's dress that I remember from my childhood, that when I just see that pattern on it, I just am instantly transported to a happy place. So I'm really appreciating these kind of items and this kind of addition to your personal style and home decor. Also pieces that are buildable in a way, like this notebook that I'm holding. Let me just show you a bit. So this notebook, some of you might be familiar with. It's a traveler's notebook. I've become obsessed with it, and if my obsession doesn't run out too quickly, I am planning on making a traveler's notebook tour. I will start writing in it properly in the new year, but I've just managed to supply it with 5 inserts, or you could say 4.5. And this is a piece that is from long-lasting materials. There's leather, there's brass. You can customize it however you'd like. You can customize, take the inserts in and out, use it for different things at the same time. And this is the kind of piece that I'm talking about through watching tutorials of people customizing their notebooks. I've come across this store, and you know, those of you who are T.N lovers, you will know about it, but there's I think it's the original store of T.N in Japan, where it includes a workshop, and you can customize a notebook with not only like a signature you can get embedded, but you can just customize a whole new notebook from the start. You can create a wallet out of it. You can add different decoration on it, different stitching and brass embellishments. And I feel like this is, you know, I've mentioned before that I really love these long-lasting good pieces of design, and this falls into that. It makes me so happy that there's an item that can last me a very long time and possibly become this like heirloom energy item. I think this is very attractive to my brain at the moment, and found it worth sharing. So since we're in this stationery and paper section of my list, I've been really enjoying applying this rule of simplicity to my art and to my just creative practice. And I've been really having fun with drawing with charcoal and ink. And that started way back in the summer, and I think I shared it before. I feel like if you're drawing with ink or charcoal, especially charcoal, it feels like you're eating sourdough with butter. You know what I mean? Like this simple pleasure of a raw material, and yeah, just things that work. And so yeah, I wanted to focus on charcoal more in this wonder, because what I've been doing is I have this Palo Santo stick, and I have this other type of wood stick that comes from Poland. It's from this tree. I think it's cedar wood, I'm not sure, but it's the one that has lots of these essential oils in it as well. So I'm burning it in style of Palo Santo, and I've started doing this practice kind of like a divination of some sort, where I burn the wood, and then when it becomes blackened, like it becomes charcoal, I draw an image with it. And if I'm so inclined, I will make it into a little ritual for myself, hence the divination. So I'll set an intention, or, you know, focus on relaxing and purification, and then whatever comes to me, I will draw with that on a piece of paper and read it as a divination, a prophecy, if you're so inclined to read it as such, or just, you know, a fun practice to do. Yeah, I try to go at it without expecting any specific result, just to go at it as with this ink painting approach, where you just let the energy go through you and make it more about the movement and the dynamics of the drawing, rather than thinking something in your head and trying to translate it. Just kind of everything happens on the page through your dynamic expression. Next one, do I want a number 3 or 4, I believe, yeah. I want a number 4. That must be woolen clothes. I'm very lucky to live here. I feel like in Iceland, of course, you have the general stores that you have in most places, but you also have access to woolen pieces that are 100% wool, often Icelandic wool, which is very, very, very itchy, but very warm, and does what it's supposed to do in this weather. And I feel like especially recently, I've accumulated a lot of woolen pieces, and I've been really appreciating them. And yeah, I just wanted to shine light on that. If you have any forgotten sweaters in your wardrobe, perhaps your moms or dads and grandpas, I suggest you give it another go, because if you're in a colder climate, you'll be surprised. Wool has been my recent personal discovery. Looks like the sun is setting. And for our last wonder, I thought that we didn't have tea in a long time in this series, and I used to always include one. I thought we could dedicate the last wonder to a special kind of tea. But before I do that, I do have to get one more ingredient for it from the store. Let's go. Wow, it's gotten really dark already. It's probably properly nighttime looking outside. And it's just 5. So there you go. And I won't be sharing a tutorial for the tea because that already exists in its perfect form. It's made by Yoga with Adrienne. I think she filmed it a couple years ago, and I love coming back to it. Even though I know the recipe by heart, it's still such a nice experience. So I'll link that in the description. And wow, it's so beautiful. And yeah, we're getting ginger. Some people, in some cultures, it's considered like a healing tea or like a sick tea. I know it as yogi tea. It's very aromatic and it smells really strongly. It's quite spicy. You can drink it with milk. All right, let me know if you like this format, because I'm enjoying it a lot, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it properly on like a more advanced road than just getting to the supermarket. But perhaps somewhere in the nature, in the summer, why not? I do enjoy this format. It's very nice for me to do because I don't have to focus so much on being in front of the camera. I just focus on the road, and then it is what it is, you know? Let's hope I can get a parking spot. Yeah, it's okay. All right, we're back in the studio. The tea is ready. I'm having it with a dash of milk. And yeah, that would be the end of the episode. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Every one of those who've been watching every episode and commenting and liking, sharing, messaging me, thank you so much for that as well. Leave a little teacup emoji in the comments if you made it to this point, then I'll know. Some of you have expressed that you wanted me to continue Wonder Club, and I don't remember if I already said in this episode, but I am thinking of just doing a seasonal one, so one for each season, summer, winter. In the meantime, I'm also on SUBSTACK. My last article, essay, was on being homesick and coming back. So if you're interested in my writing or any more posts from me, you can head on there And yeah, I'll see you next month. Thank you.